Welcome back, everyone, to Two in the Zone. You have the one, the only, the GOAT right there, Matt at Dead Prez Picks, myself, Analytics Capper. Thank you guys for jumping on. It is Thursday. It's game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. But before we get into our analysis, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, 7Stack Sports, the best book on Twitter. Give them a follow right there on the screen. It's at 7Stack Sports. They do same-day payouts if you're using cryptocurrency. They have -1 lines in MLB, +1 lines, also in hockey as well. So if you don't want to pay the juice, you can definitely do the -1. Same-day payouts, like I said, they do. They've just been in service now for almost 5 years, over 3,000 customers, and they always pay on time. I think me and Dad, we get DMs all the time about, hey, is this book legit or is 7Stacks legit? And they've never had an issue. We've always vouched for them and we'll continue to vouch for them. Always, always. All right, man, let's get into, I guess, yesterday there was some hockey and there was some baseball. I think you and I went 1-0 in hockey. I think you were on the Avs.
Yep.
And I was on the Lightning team total over. Were you able to catch the game at all?
I caught the third period, so that was really all that mattered, I thought. I watched it. I did see the Avs' first 2 goals. Had to drive out to Jersey last night, so kind of was back and forth on that. But I saw a few goals in the first. I was on them, so when they jumped out 2-0, felt good. Tampa, we knew would push back, and they did, tied it up. And then ultimately we saw that third period. No ground was gained. I thought the Avs outplayed them pretty significantly. Yep. In first and the third. Tampa obviously won that second period and then in overtime. So not shocked by the result. That's why the Avs were my max play. I loved them yesterday. But I think this is going to be a really good series, AC. I think we'll see it go 6 or 7.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats, the Avs had 38 shots compared to the Lightning's 23. The Avs are just like a machine offensively. They're always going to get to 35, 40 shots. They dominated Edmonton in the last series as well. So I agree with you in the sense that I believe that the Avs will take the series. I disagree with you because I think the Avs are going to handle this pretty easily. Either a sweep or 5 games. I just think they're way better. They've been the better team all season long. Tampa Bay is there because they are great. They're going for a 3-peat. But I just don't think they have enough speed to handle the Avs. All right, let's get into baseball from last night. Just want to go over a couple of notable games here. We had your Phillies. They came out 1-0, and then they had a 3-run bomb to walk it off. And you want to talk about that?
Of course. So that was one of my plays yesterday. Actually, our largest MLB play was the Phillies, so did not feel great about that when they fell. It was a weird game because they had a lot of chances on the bases. They just kind of weren't coming through with big hits. I've told you this all season, really, especially since the departure of Girardi. They've been like the cardiac kids at the end, right? They've been making these late comebacks, late pushes in games. So that's the one thing with the Phillies, man. I mean, they've shown the mental toughness to rally late, but I did not expect Stubbs to hit one out there. I actually didn't even have faith he would get a hit, in all honesty, left on left. Didn't look like he was seeing the ball well in the at-bat, but, yeah, definitely an electric win for the Phillies.
Yeah, I personally end up having one of our better days in baseball. I went 6-2 is one of my higher volume days, Dead. Biggest play was Twins, which was a nice win there. They came through clutch in the 8th and added some runs in the 9th. I'm just going to continue to ride the Braves, dude. They're on fire. I'm going to do the run line -1.5 until they lose. I just think that they've made me so much money. Yeah, they made me so much money, so let's just ride it. The biggest loss, though, was Cubs, man. I took that bait. They were favored against the Padres, and they basically lost by 2 touchdowns. Did you bet? Did you have a bet on the Cubs Padres?
I laid off that one. I would have bet the Cubs.
Smart. Yeah.
I had a little MLB sweep yesterday, 5-0, so that was one of my best MLB.
Beautiful.
Laid off that one. The Brewers was a really good win. I know you and I have talked about them. They've kind of screwed us a lot this year. At least they've screwed me a decent amount of times. But also was on the Twins with you, so we hit the Twins, had the D-backs first 5. And then took the Angels live at +5.5. And the game just stalled. Not one run from, I think, the second inning on. It was a weird game. I mean, they almost threw another no-hitter. So the last two nights, they say Mikolas of the Cardinals had a no-hitter with 2 outs that got broken up. And then Anderson got his no-hitter broken up last night on a hit by Ohtani. And when I was watching the broadcast live, I mean, this would have been crazy because it was only a 4-run game. But they were saying, would you intentionally walk Ohtani? Because it's the Angels. Like, you already got past Trout. The only other guy in that lineup is Walsh that might be able to hurt you. It would have been interesting. But I think if the game was like 8-0, you would, but not on a 4-0 game.
Yeah.
Some really entertaining games the last few nights. Some no-hitters coming down to the wire. So it's been a fun MLB season so far. But tonight, AC, this could be the final game of the NBA season.
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. It's been a great season. We want this to stretch out. I am on the Celtics. I think we're both on the Celtics. We've talked a lot about on this show how we think they're going to win the series. But what's your thoughts on this one tonight?
Yeah, we did our show on Tuesday. So right after they lost Game 5, they got blitz in Game 5, especially in that fourth quarter. I think they only scored 8 points. But you and I were like, we have a feeling that Celtics are not only going to win Game 6, but they're also going to win Game 7. Those are bold statements. But when we're talking about tonight in a vacuum, going back home, they just lost Game 4 in Boston. We don't expect them to have back-to-back losses. I would actually, you know me, man. I think it's going to be another blowout in this game. There hasn't been a game in this series within 10 points. Every game has been a blowout, even though it seems dramatic.
Close,
it seems close.
Yeah,
and it just blows them away. So I think the Celtics not only will cover the 4, I think they're going to win by double digits. So I'm going to have like a pretty large stack, to be honest, on the Celtics. I'll be like Celtics money line -165, Celtics -4, and probably do an alternate spread of -10 or -9.5, something like that. I went into today kind of liking Boston in the first half. However, the line moved to Golden State pretty significantly, which is a pretty big move for first half spreads. I'm going to lay off the first half. I think the books are expecting it to be close, and Celtics might win another third quarter tonight. But I like Boston, man.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm all in on Boston. As far as sides have gone, 4-1 in this series. The only game I lost was that Game 1, which was kind of the Warriors just took their foot off the gas a little bit and then kind of a crazy comeback. I'm telling you here, the NBA, and I say this all the time, how badly do they want a Game 7? Man? I mean, it's the views have
Sunday night too, Father's Day. Yeah,
the Celtics are getting every single call tonight, and if they don't, I would be absolutely shocked. But yes, they everything in their power the league will do. It's a business after all. They want this, and I just think overall, Boston. I don't think they've really been outplayed in this series.
Yeah.
A ton. It's been pretty even in my mind.
Boston hasn't even played well, in my opinion, and they're still really close to taking the series. I think you and I do believe Boston's the better team right now. The Warriors are just a little more. They just don't make mistakes. Boston had 16 or 18 turnovers in Game 5 compared to the Warriors 8. When you have 12 more possessions a game, you're gonna win. So. If Boston can take care of the ball and make their freaking free throws, they missed 10 in Game 5 as well. I think we'll be safe. I think we'll be safe, man. Let's get to baseball tonight.
All right, real quick, I want to throw a prop out there, AC, for tonight.
Okay.
So Gary Payton Jr. Under 5.5. So I think this is a really good, I guess by high spot here because he had 15 last game, but he also played 26 minutes. I don't see him getting the minutes again that he got in the last game. Prior to that, he had 5 points and then he had 2 points. He doesn't play a ton. I mean, we know his role. It's to play defense. The most I think he'll shoot tonight is 2 to 3 times. If he misses one shot, it should win. I mean, it should be like that kind of bet. Mm-hmm. You could also say the other side of it. If he shoots 2 threes, obviously you could hit it in the first. It's a short number, but it's short for a reason here. I like his under a lot. And then one other prop that I do like for tonight is going to actually be an under on Klay Thompson at 20.5. 125. So we're going. Well,
Yes.
actually, my head is over though. He's saying, I don't know if you saw how it hit, but he hit like a step back three with like 2 minutes. So
Fade game 6 Clay.
we're fading Game 6 Clay, and a lot of people, will not love that. But the thing is, I will say this before we get to MLB. It's Game 6 Clay, and the number is the same that it was like the books do not care about Game 6 Clay. I expect a more focused effort. I just think defensively tonight overall, Boston's going to be a lot more present than they have been at times in this series. So we're on Boston, AC and I. Those are some props I really like that I would throw in tonight as well. And now we're going to get to some MLB. So we got an early game that starts in 2 minutes, the A's and the Red Sox. I don't think people really care about what we have to play at this point because I don't even know if they could lock it in. But we do have other early games, AC, that start at.
We're both on the Red Sox, though, right?
Yes, I would lean the Red Sox. I took the A's actually team total under 4.5 as an article play. But I think Boston wins the game. I think they're too hot. I would take the -1. I wouldn't lay the juice on the money line. All right, Padres Cubs. This starts in an hour. The line kind of opened. I think it opened like 160. It's up to 185 now in favor of San Diego. Any chance you're going with a live dog here?
Man, I took Chicago yesterday. It was a Chicago screamer. Cubs -135. They had lost 4 in a row. Now they lost 5 in a row, if you include last night. The Padres their offense is humming right now. They have 31 runs in the last 2 games. 31 runs. That's more than the Giants can score. Like the Giant football team can score in 2 games. Like that is, that's amazing. 31 runs. Musgrove is 7-0 with a 1.5 ERA. He's been dominating so far to start the year against a very, very mediocre starting pitcher for the Cubs. I feel like this number should be closer to -250, maybe even -300. Having it at -180 is a little fishy to me, especially with it opening at -155. I think the books expect maybe the Cubs don't get swept. Maybe they cover the run line. This is something that I would personally lay off. I would not bet the Padres, though.
I'm with you. I think it's actually a Cubs read in my mind, but am I playing it? Absolutely not. I don't trust the Cubs. Musgrove's been lights out. But from a pure line standpoint, I would go with the Cubs, but I'm not going to get too fancy in that game. I'm just going to lay off. One game in the chat, you see they're asking about the Guardians and Rockies. Crazy thing with the Guardians is they're 4 games over 500. Not a lot of people thought that coming into the year. I mean, this is kind of blew up their team when, Lindor and a few years, well, not a few years back, but some years back, 5, 6, this was a World Series caliber team. They did keep Jose Ramirez, obviously. He's their stud. They've been playing good baseball. I like the Rockies, though, today to salvage this series and win one of these games at home. Tristan McKenzie, a guy I've actually faded a decent amount and have had success doing so. You get Chad Kuhl on the mound, a long-term Pirate. Not a great arm, but I think he can limit Cleveland. And when I say limit in cores, that's like 4 to 5 runs, and you should be okay. So I like the Rockies here.
I think this is a game we're going to disagree on. I think I'm not a big fan of McKenzie, just like you, but I think he has a very live arm. He does have electric stuff. He just doesn't know how to close and get batters out, which I guess is an issue when you're a pitcher. But he can get to 2 strikes, right? As long as he could get to 2 strikes, and this Colorado lineup is not great, even though it is in cores. I think Cleveland is gonna sweep them. I know sweeping a team is super hard for a series, but I think I'm just gonna have a small play on the Guardians today.
Okay. Couple more games, guys. We got about a few minutes left here to touch on the Mets Brewers. We're getting some questions about that. I like the Mets to bounce back today. I took the Brewers yesterday. Kind of sometimes when there's blowout games happen, I love to take the team who got blown out the following day, especially when they're the better team here in New York. I mean, New York looking up all of a sudden. The Braves are right on their heels. Phillies coming up. They kind of had to.
You got to mention the Phillies, man. You got to mention those Phillies.
Hey, 2.5 out of the wild card. It's a lot. The craziest thing with the MLB is there's still 100 games left.
It's insane.
I don't want to say the season doesn't matter yet, but it's kind of it is what it is. Mets, they're the best team on paper in the East, but without Scherzer and DeGrom, I mean, they kind of had to survive. They've done a decent job doing so. Give me the Mets today, though. I think they bounce back.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, no play for me on that game. It is a Mets play or nothing at all. They are the better team. They just got blown out, so it's a great buy low spot for the Mets, but I'm going to lay off that game.
AC, someone said Pattinson just came back and won the third set. No idea
I
who that
know,
is.
bro. I'm about to tweet it right now.
Yeah, is that a tennis?
I need to, yeah, I need to give you some tennis plays, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you hiding the tennis?
They're on fire.
Chat. Late night game, the Angels and Mariners. What a brutal season it's turned into for the Angels. Again, there's so much time to recover. We can't count them out, but it's getting to that point where it's like, is Mike Trout ever going to get into the playoffs, AC, and win a series? The Mariners send George Kirby to the mound. This kid is good stuff. You know, he's a rookie. You get Ohtani on the mound today for the Angels. They're coming off that little mini getting swept series by the Dodgers. Mariners lost 2 of 3 to the Twins. I'm going to back the Angels, and it's a terrifying time to back them, but I like them first 5 with Ohtani. I took them first 5 with Ohtani last time he went out, and they beat the Red Sox. The Red Sox obviously a much better team than Seattle is, so I like the Angels first 5.
Yeah, I think it is an Angels play. Ohtani, if Ohtani's the guy that just like end streaks for them, right? They had a 14-game losing streak. Ohtani ended it last week. They're in a rut right now. I think Ohtani's going to be able to get it out again. Seattle, although the Angels have been really disappointing, Seattle as well has been really disappointing in my opinion because they have a lot of young talent up in the Pacific Northwest up there too. I'm going to lay off. I think that first 5 is super sharp dead. I like that play, but I'm just going to lay off. I think I'm going to go low volume today just because there's the NBA Finals. But you and I are both on Boston. I would do Angels first 5 with you. One bet I do like is Martin Perez, bro. Is he the ace the Rangers have been looking for the last few years? We had him for like 5 years. We let him go. Now he's back. And he's pitching lights out. They are a steaming road favorite in Detroit, which is very, very surprising because the Rangers, they're still the Rangers. I know they have more talent this season, but they've been disappointing a little bit. So the fact that they're getting some steam right now, I like the Rangers tonight.
Yeah, it's a Rangers look. I'd go -1 on the Rangers tonight. I feel like them. Tigers, man, talk about disappointing teams. They're right up there with anyone else.
True.
In terms of disappointment. So I'm with you there, AC. I think it's a solid look to fade the Tigers tonight. So give me the Rangers and Martin Cy Young Perez to get the win tonight. That looks like that'll kind of conclude the MLB. Real quick touch on my Phillies. I do think they get the win tonight. They are extremely juicy. I mean, at this point, I try to sneak them in at -1 early in the morning. At this point, the -1's up to like 170. It was 150 at one point. I don't think I'd lay that. I mean, maybe if they fall behind early, but they're clicking right now on all cylinders.
It's not an if, man. They will fall behind.
They will.
And then win in the night.
They're a great live betting team. They are a terrific live betting team. So, and then the Rays and Yankees, just so we could say we hit every game today. Say, I have to take a shot on the Rays from a line perspective, but I have not faded the Yankees this entire season. Like, I haven't bet against them once this year. No. Sometimes you can't get too cute. They're playing too good at baseball. So I will continue not to bet against them. But it is time, AC, for our best bet segment. Let's get to it. We got a bunch of action tonight with the MLB and NBA. So if you want to kick us off with your best bet.
I'm going to go to the NBA. I'm going to have 2 best bets today. I'm going to have 2 best bets. I'm going to go with the Warriors team total under. I think Boston's defense is going to suffocate them tonight. If I really believe that they're going to win by double digits, that means they have to hold the Warriors under 100 points, and I see that happening. The total is only set at 210, so the books expect this to be like a 107, 103 type game. I think the Warriors are going to be sub 100. And then the other play, I just mentioned it, but I think the Rangers get it done. It's a little juicy, -160. If you don't want to lay that juice, wait till the bottom of the first inning when they go 3 and out, and then you'll be able to get it at like 145 or something like that. But I do like the Rangers and I like the Warriors team total under.
All right, I'm going to go with my best bet. I'm going to go Rockies money line at plus 118. So we're going to go with the dog
Ooh.
there. Little early dog as the best bet of the day. And there it is. So we have three best bets because AC threw a little loot for us and added one. So those are our best bets for today, guys. Make sure to check out 7 Stack Sports one final time. Shout out to the best sports book on Twitter. If you guys need -1 MLB lines, this is where we do it. 24/7 customer service. The best in the business. All right, guys, we will be back and hope everyone has a great day.